Welcome to episode 167 of the Necronama.com. If you're thinking of starting your own podcast, you should check out the show notes from this episode. You can get up to 2 months of free hosting from Libsyn. You'll have access to critical stats, helping you launch your podcast, grow your audience, and bring your podcast to life. Go check out the show notes for the Libsyn promo code and start podcasting today. Now in their 18th year, Fright Rags has been bringing you the best in horror apparel and accessories since 2003, offering a wide range of products for your favorite creature features, slasher flicks, and cult classics. Officially licensed collections include titles like John Carpenter's The Thing, The Evil Dead, Creepshow, Jaws, the Halloween franchise, and so many more. Head on over to fright-rags.com. Make sure to sign up for their SMS and email newsletter to never miss a drop. Listeners get 10% off when they use the code NECRO10, all caps, at checkout.
From the team behind the award-winning Best Fiction Horror podcast Nightlight, a new audio drama that brings the southern folklore of True Blood and the cosmic horror of Lovecraft Country to your ears.
You don't hear that, do you?
Afflicted is a tale of hoodoo, a demonic book bound in human flesh, and natural disasters that are anything but natural.
Which grave did you get the dirt from? Which grave?
Afflicted, a horror thriller audio drama coming Halloween 2022, but only if we raise enough money to pay everyone a living wage. Support Afflicted at bit.ly/supportafflicted to hear the full series this fall.
It's happening.
I am James Sabata, horror author, screenwriter, co-host of the podcast you're listening to right now, and you probably don't think I'm a very nice guy, do ya?
And I am Don Guillory, author, historian, educator, co-host of this podcast that you're listening to. And, you know, when someone asks you if you can fly, the answer is always no. Don't know if that would change anything, but, you know, at least helps.
I don't feel like it would have. I think he would have been like, sure you can, you know? But all right, so joining us today, Izzy Lee is here. Izzy, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
So would you like to tell our listeners a bit about yourself and your many works and the greatness of Meat Friend and everything else you have going on?
Sure. Thank you. Hi, I am Izzy Lee, and I am a filmmaker, writer, director, producer. I write short stories as well in the fiction prose space. So, you know, look out for that on Amazon, as well as perhaps a short story collection coming up this year. I don't know where that's laying right now, but we'll find out. And I met James at StokerCon in Denver, where I was showing Meat Friend, this crazy short film in the Final Frame competition, which we just tied the audience award for. So I'm really excited about that. And that film is a weirdo thing about an ex-con sentient pile of hamburger meat that teaches fucked up after-school lessons to a child.
To the children.
I think they're valuable lessons, personally, but
I mean, I do too, especially for the oncoming apocalypse.
And that's
children.
That's showing at the Chattanooga. Is it just the Chattanooga Film Fest? What is it?
It is. It's coming up for 2 fests. Actually, 3 fests I can announce. Chattanooga Film Festival, which is virtual this year again. It's also playing Portland Horror Film Festival, which is both in person at the Hollywood Theater in Portland, Oregon, as well as virtual, and at the Oak Cliff Film Festival in Dallas, which is in person as well.
Very cool.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
I didn't know all that. I knew Portland and Chattanooga, but yeah.
Yes.
No, I loved Meat Friend, and I knew about Rehome, and I walked into the film fest late, and I was kind of chilling with one of my friends, and Meet Friends started, and I was like, holy shit, that's my friend's kid. What the hell?
Oh.
And and so then we watched it, and it was like the greatest film I've seen in a long time because it spoke directly to me. I feel like you made it just for me, and I appreciate that so much.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. That's amazing. Yeah, we're oh god, we were so lucky to get Marnie McHenry, who is, the wonderful now 9-year-old child of both Rebecca and David McHenry, who make horror films themselves. In fact, Becca's shooting one right now in Winnipeg. Which I can't wait to see. And there might be a character named after me. That's because, I guess one hand watches the other, right? So
that's how this community works.
I'm so fucking thrilled about that. Holy shit. Like, I can't believe it. Marnie, by the way, as a result of this film, she's got an agent and a manager and headshots and goes on auditions now. It's insane.
That's fucking awesome.
It was so cute. She didn't want to let me leave when we were shooting. She kept crying and hugging. It was, oh my God, adorable. I was like, Becca, you're welcome and I'm sorry. But I'm sure she's been into film anyway because of who her parents are. And they, by the way, like, their children, I can't say I've had the same experience, like growing up with horror filmmaking parents. Like, holy shit, so lucky. Very jealous. I cannot wait to see this kid grow up.
And I mean, I'm not just kissing ass here, but David and Rebecca are just like the coolest laid back people anyway.
It's insane. I know.
But it would just be so cool. Like I'm sure their parenting side isn't totally laid back all the time. No one's is, but like it's just such a very different experience than I had growing up. So I'm jealous on multiple levels.
Same.
No, Rebecca and I did a panel at WonderCon in, I guess, 2019, because after that the world ended. And Marnie was there. And we hit it off. We were like talking about like little kid shows because my daughter is about the same age. And so we were just like bonding. And I was just like, this isn't the conversation I expected to have at WonderCon, but it's fantastic. And so when I saw her on the screen, I was instantly like, oh shit, amazing. And that's totally why we watched it and stuck around. And yeah, God, I love that film.
Oh, thank you so much. And then thanks for coming up to say hi afterwards. I'm happily shocked at people are still quoting the film to me a month later on Twitter.
Oh, yes.
It's madness. I've never ever expected a reaction like this. So I'm very, very shocked and pleased.
Every time I see a tweet that ends with children, I'm like, well, I assume I know who that's directed at.
Hey, fucking children. Yes.
So let's talk Rehome for a second.
Yes. All right.
I saw Rehome. And I honestly don't remember which film fest. I was just at my buddy's house, and he gets film fests all the time. So I watched it, and I was just like, "Holy shit, this is fantastic!" And then the baby licking happens, and I've just never gotten over it. And so literally, I saw you in the hall, and I ran over, and I was like, "Rehome is amazing!" And the whole time I was like, "Izzy's gonna slowly walk away now." But I'm so glad that Rehome is on Shudder now.
Yeah, it's been in the works for a bit. We shot it in really late 2018 in Burbank and an area of LA called Pico Robertson, and it's been a long time coming. I did like the whole fest tour and being with it, and it played pretty well. And now everyone with a Shudder subscription can watch it as season 6 of the Etheria collection. And please, rate the collection. If you like it, you can't rate individual films, but we appreciate ratings because there are trolls on there who say things that are really cute, like, women can't direct genre film or film at all or anything. Right. It's awesome. So we appreciate any good ratings we can get from the trolls to combat them. But that baby is Miguel and Tiffany Rodriguez's child, Scarlett Rodriguez. And she's, I think, maybe around like 5 now, maybe 4. And so Miguel runs the Horrible Imaginings Film Festival down in Santa Ana, which is awesome. And it is like the most kick-ass, diverse collection of horror programming that I've seen anywhere yet. So if you get a chance to go down to Horrible Imaginings, do it. It's so good. I love it.
Oh, that's great.
We should probably talk about what the film is about for the viewers who don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's like a near future thing that I got inspired to write. Really pissed off by the Trump era and all that fucking nonsense that the proposed hyper militarized idea of a border wall, which is there, but it's not anywhere what they wanted it to be with their fascism wet dreams.
You're going to fit in very well on this show.
This is my bread and butter. Like I get so yeah, man. Like I get so pissed off at the world that I have to create art or I'd be in jail.
Yep.
So here is my catharsis and my therapy. So Free Home is basically a very near future where the wall has gone up. Things are really bad down at the border between Texas and Mexico, and an enterprising couple has taken it upon themselves to start a facility that rehomes children if you cannot afford to keep your child clothed and fed and healthy and housed under a roof. And so a young Mexican mom is down on her luck and has really nowhere else to go. And she's played by Gigi Guerrero, another horror director and great actor and friend. Oh, yeah. And fucking shines in that role, man. And yeah, so she comes across Casey Lansdale and Morgan Peter Brown in that role, in those roles of the couple, and things don't go so well for her. And yes, the baby gets licked. Like Casey Lansdale.
I like how that's just become a selling point. Like on Twitter, everybody's like, and the baby licking. It's so true.
And baby licking, yes.
But like we're such a weird community. Like nowhere else would that be a good selling
acceptable
point.
Right. Well,
but
it is
in
fiction.
Horror, hell yeah.
Yeah. And that is why we are having this conversation, because you guys are my people.
Exactly.
I feel like we're always in good company because nobody ever has to sit there and worry about, man, if I say something about Trump, I'm really going to piss somebody off in the horror community.
For fuck's sakes.
Or in my case, I'm really going to piss off a whole bunch of people in the horror community as I shit on Reagan this entire episode.
Woohoo!
I mean, Reagan is a monster.
The devil?
Yeah. He's a fucking nightmare. Thanks, Reagan. Thanks, Nixon. Thanks, all the Bushes. Thanks, fucking Trump. Like, oh my God. They it's just basically a death cult. And they're greedy. And they don't give a fuck about anybody. It's insane. It's like the true nature of a sociopathic like group descended from the Puritans, which, religious freedom. Like, yeah, you got kicked out of your country because you're fucking crazy. You're zealots.
Yeah,
and
people always miss that part of the story.
Was that?
I said people always miss that part of the story. They were kicked out. They didn't leave out of their own volition. It was like, we don't want you here. Here's some money. Go somewhere else. Bye.
Yeah,
and they didn't get kicked out of one country. They got kicked out of 3.
What were the other 2?
I think it was the Netherlands they got kicked out of, and I think Denmark, other than England. But they got kicked out of. I mean, people from that group all got kicked out of 3 countries. But
well deserved. But this is how America is born, and we're still dealing with that shit. Holy fuck!
Exactly. Now we get to deal with this movie that we watched that's 35 years old and talks about outdated ideas like unchecked capitalism, economic decline, fascism, gentrification, influence of the media, the militarization of the police force, and my personal favorite, cops who stand around outside and wait while an active shooter kills people. Did I say outdated? I'm sorry. So obviously, RoboCop, you picked this, Izzy, and you were super excited. So what is it about RoboCop that just does it for you?
Well, all of the things that you just listed. And just it's in my top 5 films of all time. It is basically a perfect movie aside from Nancy Allen's tragic haircut. Um, which, Paul Verhoeven, made her get to become as boyish as possible and non-sexualized, which is another thing I want to talk about.
I can't wait.
Her character is not. She's sexualized the one time by that one member of the gang, this laughing hyena of a fucking villain. But besides that, it is so rare for a female character to have that kind of agency and not be sexualized. She's allowed to be a fucking human being, just allowed to be a person, and that is getting less rare, thankfully. But back in the 80s, Jesus Christ! I mean, we had Ellen Ripley and we had Sarah Connor, and then we had Lewis. But we don't often really talk about her in that respect. That character, we don't often say what a strong, female lead or co-lead or supporting. It's just RoboCop, because it is so bombastic and in your face. Like, how can you not focus on this insane allegory? He's like part Frankenstein, part Jesus, part, capitalistic wet dream. And there's no way you can look away. It's a fucking, it's cinematic opera is what it is. It is a biting satire, and biting satires can only be rooted in truth. So yes, everything old is new again. Or did it ever really go away? I feel like things get better and they get worse, and then they get worse, and then they get worse, and they get better, and then they get to where we are now, which I don't know how to explain anymore, to be quite honest.
Every day I just wake up and go, really? Huh?
Uh-huh. Yes.
I thought we were at the bottom. Every day.
Yeah.
Well, you look at the way people react to the news, right? Mm-hmm. It's no matter if it's another looming pandemic or whatever else is going on, it's kind of like, all right, there are, 1,000 cases of monkeypox, and people are like, we've already been through that shit. Bring it on. And there was even a joke, 2 years ago, or I guess a year and a half ago, when we were like right in the middle of the pandemic. And I guess it would be 2 years now because it's June. And someone said, well, if we discovered aliens, people wouldn't even fucking flinch. No. And then, of course, what happens a few months ago? Well, there's proof that there's intelligent life somewhere else. People are like, don't care. Don't care.
No, but no one has the emotional capacity to deal with anything else. We're all fucking redlined. Mm-hmm. Beyond redlined. Like we are collectively in this country. I'm not sure about anywhere else, because this is where the shit show is these days. But we're collectively traumatized, and it's not a good place to be for many people, and it sure as hell is not letting anybody scrape by at least a little bit unscathed. We've had more deaths from COVID than the fucking Civil War, or maybe all wars combined. And the news is just, it's constantly insane. And how do you deal with such an aggressive dystopia? I don't know.
Well, for me, it was alcohol.
Same. Yeah, it's really bad.
Or I should say it's not was. It is. And unfortunately, giving Jeff Bezos more money so he can go in his penis-shaped rockets.
Crazy.
I'm going to keep giving him money until he gets in one of the rockets and they blow up.
Well, I think that's too much to ask for, man, but we can always dream.
I know. There was no reaction from me. I was like, eh. They probably frame it kind of like all this shit around Elon Musk. He's like, oh, well, he's such a visionary. I'm like, no, he wasn't.
Yeah. It's funny how everyone thought that when back in the day, how innocent we were.
Right?
Yes. Jesus Christ.
So we got a bunch of Howard Hugheses. That's what we have.
Oh my God. Yeah. The fact that billionaires exist, a deeply troubling red flag of much, much deeper problems in the society.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I mean, the film, it's sharp as fuck, and it's a biting commentary of our culture. It speaks truth to power, and somehow manages to be massively entertaining at the same time.
I think that's one of the best parts about it. It's literally this human that becomes a machine, but pieces of him are still human. And like, it's those little tiny pieces. Like you were talking about Lewis. She doesn't become a love interest. When they get to the part where his wife has left town, I was like, oh, fuck, here we go. We were doing so well. But no, we don't go there. And I appreciate that so much. He still holds on to this piece that, like, even if he's not fully there yet, like, he's still maybe in love with her or holding on to her or whatever. And it's those pieces that make him entertaining to me, because they're also not overdone. It's not jammed down our throat. It's this cool little, it's not a side quest. It's not anything. It's just, who was I? And who am I now? And that's totally human, no matter your situation. And that's what really speaks to me with this.
Well, then there's also the fact that her idea of, I guess, her relationship with him is trying to figure out what happened to him. You know, when she first gets that glimpse of her friend, right? Mm-hmm. She looks at it and is like, something's odd. You know, with the whole gun twirling at the gun range, she's not as impressed as everybody else is with his targeting. She sees the twirling of the gun, and she's kind of like, huh, that's Murphy. The fuck, you know? And I'm sure with anything else, if they'd gone deeper with this movie, it would have been like, you know, you guys took a human being against his will, and I wrote down bodily autonomy several times throughout this. You took someone against their will, but the argument was, we own the contracts. OPC owns the contracts with the police, so we can take whoever we want. I'm just like, what kind of insanity is that? But then you realize, I mean, this is already getting into it. There are companies that take out insurance policies on their employees that are not then handed over to the family if somebody dies at work or even just dies somewhere else. The company then takes the money, or at least cashes out that insurance policy, and takes it as profit. Meanwhile, you have somebody's family that, you know, the dad, the mom, the uncle, the brother, son, whoever, daughter, they happen to have died in a car accident or died from whatever type of incident they may have died from. They could have died from natural causes. But this company that has no connection to them other than being an employer goes and cashes an insurance policy on them that the family had no idea that the company had filed for them, and then filed the claim to cash it out once that person was dead. And the family has no right to the money that this company had taken out and gained as part of a policy.
It's so unethical. It's unbelievable. But can I say I'm surprised? I cannot.
No. Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, corporations are people.
Ugh.
You know, the fucking ethics are flying loose left and right.
Look, this is RoboCop, not Robo-Senator.
Robo-Senator. Oh, do you expect our senators to do anything? Because that would be the day.
Oh, God, no. I mean, well, we know who
Yes, well, now that, you know, a gunman was outside of Brett Kavanaugh's place, like, they're actually going to do some gun reform, which is shocking, but, you know, whatever it takes, man.
It's sad that the Supreme Court isn't like covered by Secret Service. Oh wait, never mind. But
if only they give a shit
part of the
about
show
children.
where Don keeps his mouth shut because he doesn't want to get in trouble and get visited by the alphabet boys.
There you go.
I understand. Tell me you understand. Hypothetically.
But you know, you're talking about the corporations and owning people, basically, or at least according to them, they own them. Right. And I was doing some research recently for a book I was writing, and I was amazed at how there's no rights once you die. Like, I can leave all the instructions in the world of what has to happen to me and where I want to be buried, and anybody at all can just go, fuck that. And you just, I mean, I know I'm not alive, so it doesn't really matter, but it should. And there should be a chain of command, so to speak. And there really isn't. And that's so fucking crazy to me. It's more like just this like honored tradition of going to the family and doing what they want, but everyone like has to honor their piece of it for it to work. And
Hey,
that's
man.
so messed up to me.
Imagine being a woman. I have more rights dead than alive. Like,
Absolutely.
they can, if I say I'm an organ donor, it's on my license. They can take my organs. If I say, if that designation is not there, they can't. But they can force me to have fucking children, or they can force me to carry a fetus, even though it's not viable, and it might even fucking kill me, because of white supremacy and nationalism and patriarchy and all sorts of fucking really fucked up gross things. So here we are.
That's nuts. I literally can't comprehend how this is just like accepted. Like, like at what point in history did this just become, oh, well, somebody said so we have to,
Oh, James, I got you covered, my friend.
I accidentally said the H word, history.
Yes, you did. This is when this were the Pee Wee Herman show. All the furniture would go, ah! All right. If you really want to pinpoint when it is, you got a couple of moments. One of the cases would be Plessy versus Ferguson. Believe it or not, I mean, the case is known as the separate but equal case, but it also gives businesses the right to, quote unquote, exist as entities. Mm-hmm. So as an entity, or giving them personhood, really, they can then, I guess, bounce between the statuses, but it doesn't really become an issue until the Reagan years. Mm-hmm. Now, you got glimpses of it in the 70s under Nixon, under Ford, even a little bit under Carter. But when Reagan comes in with the rise, not the return, the rise of the religious right with people like Phyllis Schlafly, may she rest in hell, but that would be too good for her. Or Jerry Falwell. Jerry. Well, I can't remember. Anyway, all those wonderful human beings that made up the religious right, Pat Robertson and I know people are going to be upset about this, but Billy Graham as well. All these people that came out speaking against things like equal rights for women or affirmative action or workers' rights. They started putting this in place to where if you're an employee, you don't have rights that the business or the corporate entity itself does not afford you. So when you start having lobbyists from these different groups, whether it's ExxonMobil, Philip Morris, any of the financial institutions as well that are coming in and saying things like, well, we can't cover this policy, or we can't protect your right to a job, or really you have no right to a job and you have no right to payment protection, things like that. It's because they're instituting those policies or pushing those policies within state legislatures, within the federal system itself, and then also pushing for people to be on the benches in the Supreme Courts as well as the federal court system to ensure that your rights are not protected as a worker, which then gets seen with Reagan's whole showdown with air traffic controllers, where they have a right to go on strike. They have workers' protections under the Department of Labor. But as president, he fires all these motherfuckers, arguing that they don't have the right to do it. And he gets supported by the courts because of the way in which he does it, as well as he gets supported by businesses who now can threaten the same thing with their employees, which then leads us to things like, hey, you shouldn't talk about unionizing. You shouldn't talk about paychecks or pay disparity or discrimination in the workplace, because then you can lose your job. When the reality is, yes, you can lose your job, but you can also sue those motherfuckers for doing it, because they don't talk about that portion. In which you've seen in Amazon lately, where people were putting up literature about forming unions, and there were people who were in lower level or mid-level management that would take down the flyers, which what they were doing was illegal because they were preventing them from exercising their right to organize within the workforce. But because so much of that has been muddied and so much of that hasn't been protected at the federal level, it makes it so much easier for a lot of these businesses to go ahead and say, like, no, we fucking own you. You don't want to, you don't want to work here, or you don't want to work the way that we want you to work, as far as standing up 10, 12 hours a day, peeing right where you are, being charged for bathroom breaks or smoke breaks or just to eat or anything like that. Okay, cool. Then go work somewhere else, because someone else is going to take this job, and you'll just be homeless somewhere.
Land of the free, indeed.
Yeah. Oh, and also Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand is also responsible for this. I don't care how her name is pronounced. I don't give a shit. She's a horrible person. Her books are horrible. And the people who love her books are horrible people.
Yep.
And anybody who's named after her is a horrible person who probably needs to have the shit kicked out of them by their neighbor.
Love it.
That neighbor is like the MVP of my world. I want to get that guy a medal.
Look, he does it again. I'm putting money on his books.
There you go.
Sorry. Hypothetically.
All right, Izzy, why don't you jump us in wherever you want to go and we'll follow along.
My goodness. Oh, wow. I mean, if you talk about like just the technique, just say like the craft of the film right now, you know, it's a briskly paced sci-fi action classic. It's got zero waste in terms of shot choices, scenes, lines, cutaways, anything. You know, it's just so incredibly well done. And I am not ashamed to date myself and say that I saw this in the theater in its first run. It came out in July 17th, 1987, just about 35 years ago, a day before both my birthday and the birthday of director Paul Verhoeven. So different years, of course, different decades, but it's let's talk about how it's a horror film.
Yes.
Because I don't think this gets enough coverage, really. I'm trying to rack my brain and think about if I've ever read anything that says like, yeah, RoboCop's a horror movie, but let's do it now. Let's make the case.
I mean,
because
okay. Yeah.
As a child watching this in the fucking theater, I was sufficiently horrified in many, many scenes. And even just a week or two ago, rewatching this, that death scene where he's dying and they're trying to revive him. God. Holy shit. Paul Verhoeven does not look away. He does not cut. He keeps the camera on his Murphy's dead eyes. It is fucking horrifying. The parts where he's being, you know, killed and tortured in his last moments, same. You know, we've got one of the other the villains turning basically into the Toxic Avenger for half a second before he gets liquefied on the cop car that I think, was it Lewis is driving? I'm not sure. Somebody, maybe it's Ray Wise's character. No, wait. Don't touch me, man. So good. So many horror elements in here. And I don't care what anyone says, RoboCop is partial horror movie for sure. I
mean, I would say it's a horror movie under the simple fact that women who work there are forced to shower with their male counterparts. So that's a horror movie in itself right there.
Well, I wouldn't. Well, yes. But here's one of those weird things that when we get into dystopian movies, I mean, because I see a lot of overlap with Alien with this movie. Or, sorry, Aliens. Because that whole thing where the police are all, you know, male, female, whatever, or whatever your gender identity may be. I saw that as reminiscent of Aliens when they were doing the same thing. Everybody was showering together. So one could argue that
Starship Troopers as well.
Yeah. I forgot about that scene. But how there is that sense of unity and we're not sexualizing anybody in this moment. Or demeaning anybody sexually in this moment. It's kind of like, no, fuck it. We're all cops. Fuck it. We're all space marines. Oh, we're all Starship Troopers. It really doesn't matter. Right. So, I mean, it could be seen as a very progressive thing, but definitely for the 80s, that would be one of those thoughts as me as a 10-year-old kid in 87 or, well, I guess when I saw it around 89, as a 10-year-old kid, I'm like, man, that's cool. You get to shower with chicks if you go, you know, if you go to because that's what's on your mind when you're that age as a boy. You're kind of, I mean, you think about all the movies that were around in the 80s that sexualized everything.
Oh, yeah. That was fun.
But yeah, I could see how that is, you know, if it's definitely forced, but I didn't see anybody at all being sexualized aside from the rape scene. Or the would-be rape scene,
right?
Where, you know, RoboCop is so endearing, and you know, after he shoots the guy in the penis, and God, he lets the victim know, you seem disturbed, shook up. I'll notify a rape crisis center.
Right, so cold.
But yeah. And my thought at that moment, because I've seen way too many of these stories, there's one, it's called I'm the Evidence, that talks about how the police don't take rape seriously.
They don't.
And just
not for a fucking second.
And just how RoboCop is this cold machine is like, I will call somebody to give you help. Not, yeah, you shouldn't have been out in this dark alley, lady. You look at what you were wearing. Are you sure you didn't leave these guys on? You know, all the same bullshit that we would have seen in some similar movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to admit to what I watched in the 80s, all the shitty B and C movies.
It was everywhere. Those were everywhere.
Well, and I was mostly joking about the shower thing being a horror.
Oh no,
film,
I know you were.
But no, my actual reasoning is this is also a creature feature told from the point of view that the creature is the good guy. You know, like if we were really like watching it from their point of view and this crazy machine's going around and grabbing people through walls and shit, like this is very Jason-esque. He dies, he comes back, he's like invincible, and he's punishing people for their sins. This is extremely like Jason. Yeah. So you can go creature feature, you can go slasher. I mean, it's not a slasher, but I'm saying like you have these elements that are all horror elements. And of course it's sci-fi because of what it is. But I don't think that genre is a label for selling things and not for storytelling.
Yeah.
And so I'm a big believer that horror is in basically everything. But I don't see how you can have these kills and then go, oh, RoboCop's not horror, man. Like, yeah.
Well, those are the same idiots that also say that horror isn't political. So fuck you very much to them.
Horror's starting to get political. I can't watch this anymore.
Oh, it's for all of time.
Here on our 200th episode. Anyway.
Yes, I know. I'm preaching to the choir to you guys, but it's I still hear that sometimes. And I'm like, you're willfully ignorant, living in a world specifically made for you by people who look like you. But
Izzy, I just want to enjoy the movie without thinking about it being
I know. How dare life get in the way? How dare other people's, issues and then systemic bias get in the way and discrimination and
I would have really liked Get Out if it hadn't focused so much on racism.
I always want to know what they think it would have been about. Like, what would the plot have been at that point?
I mean, it's kind of an updated version of the Stepford Wives, if you really think about it. Mm-hmm. And speaking of Jordan Peele, who I think is fucking brilliant, and I'm so glad we have him making films. I always thought that going back to that, attempted rape scene, we have RoboCop to be grateful for Key and Peele's shot in the dick skit. I swear to God. So I'm grateful for that. But I did always also think of that shower scene as progressive as well, because none of the women are being leered at. They're not treated as quote unquote women, which, we're still lesser than men, seen by as many people, especially in this country, and the Middle East. It's just it's so interesting to see. And I was like, I swear to God, this character was written originally as a man, but I don't think that was the case. I read or I watched on the Arrow release that came out a couple years ago, the interviews, and Michael Miner and Ed Neumeyer, the writers, it never came up. So have you guys heard otherwise? Was Lewis originally written as a man? Do you guys know? Or
I've never seen anything about that.
Yeah,
no.
That's interesting. I like that.
My argument that she couldn't have been would be that she's distracted the way that she is. Because if this hyena guy, who is my least favorite part of this fucking film, I would love to just, if they released a version without him, or just he wasn't allowed to laugh, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. But I'd buy it for $1. Somebody had to say it. But so because she's distracted by that, I don't think that it works the same way in the 80s. That if this dude pulled his dick out, I don't think a male officer is distracted by that. I don't think that makes this go down the same. So to me, it couldn't have been written that way. But I could be wrong. They could have changed that once they did it too. Who knows?
That could have been an improvisation for the set. It could have been the script. It could have been who the fuck knows.
But I watched the movies that made us RoboCop last night because I was killing time. And there was nothing in there about that. And they talked to the cast like the whole time. So I don't believe that's the case, because with something like Ripley, it does come up. And so many other characters, it does come up. People always say, oh, yeah, we switched it later and it added this to the story or whatever. And nobody said that with this that I've seen.
Yeah, good. Love it. Getting back to the I'd buy that for $1. I think the show within this movie is called It's Not My Problem, which is so fucking American. It's just goddamn biting satire at its greatest, but you know, it's like this Benny Hill-esque TV show, which is like just super dumb, very, very sexist, just ridiculous. One of the cutscenes, like they were in this pizza parlor and the women are topless and he's, you know, kneading them like they're kneading the dough. And it's so ridiculous. But, you know, I feel like it just reflects how stupid society has become, at least in this country. And then let's talk about the interstitials of the TV news and these great commercials that are, you know, partially influenced by Saturday Night Live in addition to
oh my gosh,
America, right? So good. Like the Nukem fucking, oh my God, the board game, which is clearly based on Battleship. But Jesus. Like Jesus Christ.
It's like Battleship meets Risk meets American culture.
Uh-huh.
And there's part of me that's like, I would play that, you know.
Yeah, but it's also really chilling to see like these people be so excited about destroying other fucking countries.
Oh yeah.
And,
what were you going to say, Don?
Well, I was going to say that was just the weird thing about the 80s, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, especially with anything nuclear itself, because the way that we processed nuclear anything, right? It was this idea of like, oh, shit could go down at any moment. You could die. You know, if there's a flash, you're already dead, because we don't believe in the whole duck and cover shit anymore. But what really got me about this was it reminded me of how sucked in we all were, even when it came to nuclear stuff. Mm-hmm. That motif that was there, or that theme of nuclear or whatever, whether it was nuclear warheads, nuclear waste, was thrown into so many things. It was there. But we never knew the exact, I guess, cost of nuclear war. Because even in school, when we talked about Hiroshima and Nagasaki, it was thrown away as like, oh, several 100,000 people died. Several more 100,000 people died at this point. Oh, yeah, then there was cancer and this happened. And I don't think I was in my late teens or maybe my 20s until I saw the photos of what happened.
Right.
And then you realize the shit that we have now is 50 to 100 times worse. There is no winning. There is no, oh, we're just going to drop some tactical nukes and we're going to do whatever. But the idea that, hey, we're going to be so fun about it, and we're the ones who've actually dropped this shit before, that we can just kind of make a joke about it. I look at all that stuff as like, we cannot get mad when anybody else gets pissed off at America or does the death to America or says like, hey, I think I really don't care what happens in your country because, you know, if you guys die, you guys die. When you've done, or when people have done so many things, at least for the sake of the United States or government or whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you just look at it and you're like, we were really clueless in so many different ways, and purposely made clueless about it.
That is the magic of propaganda, my friend. We thought we were the good guys for so long. We're the fucking evil empire. Like, we became what we hated, which back in the day, sources point to the British Empire, from which we mostly sprung. But man, it's if you look at it on a smaller scale, it's the thing of how can I not become my parents?
Right.
And then you do no matter what, and it's like this self-fulfilling prophecy. But yeah, I'm thinking of like other films that treat nuclear war in the 80s with, you know, a more chilling respect. It's like The Dead Zone would be a fantastic comparison on that theme. Same with the fucking Trump era, with Martin
the day
Sheen's
after is
character.
another good one.
Oh my god! And Threads. Have you seen Threads?
Threads.
Oh, okay. So Threads is a British film, and I want to say it was a made-for-TV film.
Okay.
And it is one of the bleakest things you will ever see.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wait,
this appeals to
worse
me.
than the day after.
I mean, that's a conversation. That's a whole other podcast.
No. I mean, I don't know if I can go any bleaker than that.
Maybe. I'm gonna say maybe. Tastes may vary, but it's one of the bleakest things I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, maybe.
Okay.
And you can get that via Severn Films, or it might even be on Shudder. I'm not sure, but Threads will fucking murder your soul.
And then you have War Games where they were literally playing this Nukem game from RoboCop.
God, I know. It's insane. So, I mean, yeah. America's become a dystopian nightmare.
Well, for those of us who are paying attention.
So I just looked it up. I just looked it up, and Threads is currently on the AMC subs. It's on Tubi, Canopy, Shudder. Yep, and you can rent it on Amazon or Vudu as well.
And I'm sorry.
And thank you, JustWatch.com for making my searches.
I love that website. That website's great. But yeah, don't watch it when you're in an already fragile place.
Oh,
maybe watch it when you're numb. No, I'm serious.
I don't think this is my time.
Probably not, man.
So what you're saying is watch it and then watch Dr. Strangelove right after.
Well, also you can also add failsafe to that. And oh man, there was one other one that was on the tip of my tongue. Shit. I don't know. It'll come back to me, hopefully. But not nuclear, but war film. Come and see. You will not be the same. And again, I'm sorry.
I'm going to have to revisit this episode later when my mental health is better, and then I'll go watch all these. Then my mental health will be worse. And
I feel bad about it.
Oh, man.
But it's a brilliant film. And I'm just gonna leave it there.
Okay.
So, yeah. Let's get back on topic.
Yeah.
So really fast, I was saying these kills. This has to be horror, right? The boardroom kill.
So good.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Which asshole thought, hey, live rounds? That's the way to make a demonstration.
Right.
Well,
wouldn't that be Dick Jones?
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
I find that so amazing. Like, that was my complaint watching it. I was like, who the fuck used real bullets?
Yep. But it's just a glitch. And then the reaction from Dan O'Hurley, who plays the old man, and another of my favorites, Connell Cochran in Halloween 3. He just has like this twitch on his face, like, are you fucking kidding me, without saying a word? And you're just like, oh my God, this is incredible. and let's talk, get back to like live rounds and gunfire in America and shootings. Sorry, but
that's just where I live. So
right. They get in the elevator and they're going down, and one, there's a bunch of execs in the elevator, and they're going down, and one says something about the shooting, and Bob Morton, played by the late great Miguel Ferrer, says, "Oh, you get used to it, living in the city." Like, this is where we are now, guys.
Yep.
Holy shit! Like,
the cost of living in the big
cost of living in this country. Yeah, it's just so much desensitized. I didn't say that right at all. I'm so flustered.
We'll pretend you did. No.
Yeah, we're very desensitized here, and you want to talk about cops, you want to talk about fucking shootings, you want to talk about the militarization of,
I got a lot of cop stuff to talk about.
Yes, I would like to listen to this cop stuff. Please go ahead.
Well, the thing is, initially I watched the wrong movie. Just so you know, I watched RoboCop. It's a film about a police officer riding the rails.
Oh man, I thought you watched RoboCop, which was a robot teaching an aerobics class.
Wow.
RoboCop. He's got his bindle is lit. So anyway,
we're so sorry, listeners.
It's so funny.
But no, it's when I watch stuff like this, I mean, my eyes are different than they are when I was like 10, 11, whenever I first watched this movie, to where the term copaganda, I guess, hadn't been coined yet.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's more of a late 90s, early 2000s term. But there are no quote unquote bad cops in this movie, right? So we have a lot of times like the lines are drawn very clear. Here's the corporate world, it's bad. Greed is bad. Here's the criminal world, bad. They steal, they kill, they rape.
They work together.
The corporate world, the criminal world are together, right?
Yep.
And
Brilliant.
then there are these guys who are trying to do the right thing. So in all honesty, that's what the police departments should be. That's what the law enforcement should be. It's like, hey, we're trying to do the right thing. And even when the Sergeant Reed, overhears them like, wait, we're going to go on strike, which, they strike in the second movie. We're going to go on strike. And he's like, we're cops. Police officers don't strike. And it's almost as if he has this duty, Sergeant Reed, he keeps repeating or at least building back into the story like, hey, we're supposed to be doing the good thing here. We're supposed to be helping people. We're supposed to be taking criminals out. We're supposed to be doing all this other stuff to make sure the community's better, right? And you look at this movie now and you're just so kind of like the shootings thing. You're so disappointed because you're like, well, this is what I've been fed in all these movies, that the cops do the right thing. The cops stop the bad guys. They do what they're supposed to do, like those protocols or those directives that RoboCop has. That's what the directives are supposed to be, as far as I forgot what the first one was, but as far as serving justice, right? And serving the law or upholding the law. I'm sorry. But that whole idea of doing that gets muddied with all these other people that we see within real life, where it's, I am the authority. I am the law. I don't mean to quote Judge Dredd, but I am the law. So therefore, what I say is the law. And if you're breaking the law, I can punish you however I see fit. Right. So we don't get this moment where there's any veering away from all these cops are good guys. All these cops are trying to do good things, except for the one bad thing that they're trying to do is we're not getting paid. We're going on strike. So you see like the importance of labor and the importance of unions and things like that. But that then gets treated as a bad thing, as far as the way unions operate. Hey, you shouldn't be going on strike. We're cops. When hey, I absolutely should be going on strike. If you're looking at the way Detroit is in the movie,
right. Yeah,
like there's no fucking reason I would ever take my ass out of that police station. This is a movie where, at least one of the first ones I recall, where the police are shown as militarized the entire time, right? Even in those different units, they're all militarized, all have the body armor, all have helmets, all have their full riot gear on all the time, automatic weapons, all that stuff. But in the 80s, we didn't have, at least depending on the city, but you still had your patrolmen, and you had, I don't even think I remember any cop wearing a protective vest, or at least I saw one in person until maybe the late 90s.
Right.
Or at least to the level now where they've got like that full fucking, I want to be in the army so bad cover. Which honestly, I only saw those when I was in the military, as far as the full body armor with everything that you have at your disposal. But then when I got out, I started seeing cops with them. I'm like, why the fuck do you have this? Yeah,
there's no fucking need. It's insane.
You have this to pull me over. This doesn't make any sense. Like, you've got to, like, no wonder why you're so pissed off. I know how heavy that is.
Yeah.
But it was prophetic, is what I'm trying to say. The movie was prophetic with showing how the police would be in the future as far as their attire. And to an extent, I guess, even the way that they may view themselves, as far as like, I'm here for what I think are reasons, despite what the public might think about me.
Right. The directives are to protect the innocent, serve the public trust, uphold the law. And then for RoboCop, the fourth hidden directive later on in the film that's revealed is he can't act against any officer of OCP because OCP owns the fucking cops. And that is where we're headed. I like that you brought up the fact that there is definitely propaganda in here. Because at the end of the day, he's got all these directives.
Mm-hmm.
This grants him god-level powers, and ultimately the directive is use violence by any means necessary.
Right.
So, I mean, if he slides into, say, Terminator territory, that can go off the rails real quick. And I just read in real life that is less science fiction and more nonfiction. There is a Google engineer who got put in a leave of absence for coming out and saying that they've created a sentient AI. So Cyberdyne, here we come, guys. Nice knowing you.
Skynet.
Nice knowing you. I mean, in all reality, it's probably really just mimicking language patterns, and it's very good at learning. But honestly, who the fuck knows at this point? Like how far we've come since 1987 when RoboCop came out. I just again,
look, it's either Cyberdyne or it's Ultron. I mean, you got to flip a coin now.
Yeah.
Which one are we going to get destroyed by?
Oh my god, I know. And yeah, you see this tweet that's become sort of more of a meme these days, but it's ultimately grounded in truth. Of course it is. That's basically, oh yeah, the Marvel movies, everyone's so traumatized and they're just walking around living life normally after all this crazy shit happens. And then fast forward 2022, oh, I get it.
Yep.
Yeah. It's...
I mean, wow. I think the AI creators are going to run into the same thing that whoever created humans ran into. Garbage in, garbage out. We're going to keep making mistakes. We're going to keep fucking it up. So, I mean, I feel like the AI is going to be just as fucked as we are eventually.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was another article a couple of years ago that was just basically, I don't know if this was Boston Robotics or whatever. It was something where it was like this AI had basically turned into a psychopath because of us, because of what was input into it, what is out there that is input into it. Say, the glorious lowest common denominator fucking on, around on Twitter. Great. These are our new overlords in the next 10 years, maybe.
They're better than the overlords we have now, though. So
are they? Are they though? I don't know. I prefer no overlords. What?
Well, with RoboCop's, because when you're talking about getting them on God mode or godlike, godlike powers, right?
Yeah.
My question then became the moment where, I talked about how there really is no bad cop. The only kind of glimpse of that we get through RoboCop is when he immediately, I guess has a PTSD that overloads his circuits. And it's kind of like, let me go hunt these motherfuckers that killed me. And my first thought was, holy shit, okay. So he has the power to enact revenge.
Yeah, man.
And he has the ability to not get punished for it because you look at, well, even beyond that. So let's say RoboCop has qualified immunity as a police officer. He has qualified immunity. So if he does go out and sees this guy and shoots him, right? Boom, blows his head off as opposed to bringing him in, but blows his head off. And then they come back and they're like, oh, it was a malfunction within his circuitry or his programming or something like that.
Right.
So wait a second. Maybe RoboCop was trying to do something premeditated.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the machine show that you're malfunctioning. So you go out and do the shit. So then they can do a systems update or hardware upgrade, a software upgrade, whatever. That way you're not punished for it. Plus,
so many loopholes.
Does he have personhood?
No, for sure.
I mean,
even with Lewis at the very end, she just blows Ray Wise's character Leon Nash the fuck away. Blows him the fuck away. Because, all bets are off now. Who gives a fuck? And ultimately, the cops are tools of fascism. But it definitely becomes a revenge film. In fact, I saw an article recently, I think it was Film School Rejects. It might have been written like 5 years ago or so, but there's an article detailing the tropes of rape revenge films and how RoboCop also frames itself in that way.
Okay.
So that's interesting reading.
Nice.
Because it totally does. It makes an entire really great argument for it. But yes, revenge seems to be, along with guns, a very, very American thing. It's, of course, in other cultures, like, Japanese films have it all over the place. Same with Korean films, like the police drama and crime thrillers.
Right.
So great. Holy shit. But yeah, I'm trying to think, has one country produced more revenge films than another? And I've got to say, USA.
Number
We're number one. There you go. Virtual high five.
But hey, even then, right? So if you've got a good number of action movies, whether we're talking about within Europe, whether we're talking about within Asia or the United States, right? Mm-hmm. And even to an extent in Latin American film. We've got a good number of action films, but the gun culture, the gun obsession is not the same because to go back to my childhood, because I'm looking at some of this through, not necessarily through the nostalgia lens, because I was never like a big RoboCop guy. I watched the movies, I played the video games, but I was never like, oh man, RoboCop's on, I'm going to sit here and watch it. I'm also not the kind of person, like I ran into some when the reboot came out. Mm-hmm. I was curious because I'm like, how is it going to play out? And how are they going to update it? And I think they updated it very well. Mm-hmm. It was just the execution could have been a lot better. Right. But when this movie came out, I remember clearly my cousins and I and friends of mine, we were like, oh man, that gun that RoboCop has is so cool. Like that was all our fucking thought was. Sure. So we were hoping like, oh, you get the RoboCop gun toy or something, or even the gang, right? They all had, I forgot what they called it in the movie, but they were 50 cal sniper rifles is what they are in reality. So when I see them as an adult, I'm like, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't make anything blow up. That's not how 50 cal sniper. You can't even hip fire those things. This makes no sense. But even then, I was thinking like they could still fuck something up.
Yeah.
But as a kid, you're thinking like, oh, that would be a cool ass gun to have, a big fucking gun that can blow stuff up.
It's such an American thought. Yeah.
Yeah. I could shoot anything and it blows up. This is awesome. And it's a great weapon to have in a movie like this because you see who RoboCop is and you see how his armor is and everything like that. So you're thinking like one hit and he's fucking done. He's dead. It's over for him. And then when they have the shootout, they miss everything.
Right.
They can't hit him once.
It's kind of like a stormtrooper shootout, right?
Yeah.
I love how when they're using it in the city, they just blow things up on this massive level. But then when they're using it against him, it's like hitting like the little corner of the building and not doing any damage. And I'm like, well, you should put it back on whatever setting you had it on earlier and maybe you'd hit him.
Well, that also ties into like the whole fucking Jesus allegory, right? And Paul Verhoeven is astonishingly enough a Jesus scholar, in addition to having a PhD in math, which, wow, that's a Venn diagram I never would have heard of in my life. I couldn't have made that up. But
I would like to never have a conversation with him.
I mean, that's fair. I would, but you bring someone back to life, beyond like the ethical ramifications of doing that, which we talked about earlier. Like it's Frankenstein updated for the Reagan era, but it's like Franken Jesus by way of technology. If RoboCop died for your fucking sins, he came back and he still keeps going, and now he seems to be totally invincible.
I love
Jesus. Yeah, Robo Jesus,
Robo Christ.
Robo Christ, it's great.
Is that going to be your next book, Don?
No. Do you realize? Look, no.
Oh my god, it's nuts. Hey, let's talk about all the fucking sociopathic men in the movie, shall we? Holy
Absolutely.
Shit!
Was there any normal guy in this movie?
I don't think so. even RoboCop himself, Murphy himself, before he gets killed by these lunatics. Holy fuck. He is, he's, yes, of course, a very saintly Christ-like type figure. He's very, epitomizes America and like this tall, beautiful blonde creature that's, honestly pretty fucking Aryan. But he's kind of fucking macho, and let's be honest here, his macho shit gets him in trouble. It makes him fucking dead, because not only is he not letting, so he's a new cop in town. Yeah, he transferred from some idyllic place, and his, captain's warning him, like, we do actual work around here, Murphy, or whatever. He demands that he drives the car, which, it's, well, a city that you've just moved to and you're taking over your partner's car and demanding that you drive. I don't know if that's like a male female thing or whatever the fuck it is, but
well, she even says like, you don't know where we're going. Like she straight calls it out.
Right. And then so a lot of the best films are, no one listens to the women, and this is why disasters happen. So he ends up dead because he wanted to drive and then just run in there and not wait for backup. And this sets us on our journey, And then so he's killed by these sociopathic criminals, and they're just, what a delight to watch. I would never want to run across any of these people in life, but to watch, man, you can tell these actors are having a fucking great time. We've got Miguel Ferrer's Bob Morton, who is like this, he's basically like a Hollywood agent. He's so, climbing. And there's Kurtwood Smith as Clarence Boddicker, the crime king, which, yes, please play Bill Hader's dad on Barry HBO. I'm begging you, because it would be brilliant.
Absolutely.
Ronnie Cox is the massive, Dick Jones. Daniel. Of course, we brought up Daniel Hurley earlier as the old man, who actually does seem to have some sort of a conscience. And then, Ray Wise as Leon Nash. So, and even, not remembering the other guy's name, Paul somebody or other, who played McCartney, maybe? Who played Emil. Great in that role. There's so many great roles. And even down to, some of the other supporting executives. There's Jesse Goins, Joe Cox, a smirking motherfucking teacher's pet. He's got such a taste for violence. And there's even like shots and cutaways which look like he's grinning as the violence happens. He's like psyched for it. He's super happy when, people get thrown through the window or anything. He's just jonesing for it, man. And just, he bubbles with outright glee and violence, and it's perfect and hysterical and chilling all at the same time. Thoughts? Hello?
Oh, no.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I lost you guys.
I didn't want to cut you off, but I'm trying to think about the way. I'm gonna go there. All right,
go there.
So talking about the psychotic nature of these guys, right? But there's a shitload of toxic masculinity here as well, and to an extent, there's even a good bit of sexual tension, because there's this one scene where Dick Jones and Bob Morton are arguing.
I love that scene.
It's in the bathroom, right?
Holy shit! Yes, it is the executive washroom.
Yeah. So Bob is all happy because he's got his promotion, and everything, and it becomes one of those moments of, know where the fuck you are before you open your mouth, right? So he's talking shit about, Dick, and everybody else knows that Dick is in the bathroom. No pun intended. That Dick is in the bathroom, and they hear him talking shit about him, and they're like, "Oh fuck!" And they hurry to get the fuck out of there.
One guy runs out with a pee stain because he knows, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm not even washing my hands. Goodbye.
And I had to laugh because even as a kid, when I first saw that, I was like, "Oh, this is bad." But that part where he starts chastising Bob about understanding the chain of command and all this other stuff, and he grabbed, which again, I thought it was the weirdest thing. Maybe it was something about the future, because typically you would grab the guy on his collar, you might grab, on the shoulder, something like that. But the fact that he grabbed his hair.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there, and my wife and I almost say it at the same time while we're watching it. And she says it before I do. She's like, just fucking kiss. Just kiss. Because it's like there was some serious sexual tension between those two. Because it wasn't just, oh, you're trying to replace me. It was almost like the way he grabbed him. It was kind of like, there's some backstory going on between the two of you guys here.
I have a theory on that.
Oh, please.
I don't think it's backstory at all. I think Dick Jones is using threats of sexual violence to keep him in line.
Okay.
I think he yep. Oh my God, yeah. I think that is a very very sort of, how do I say this, like emotional / psychological weapon of mass destruction. I'm going to treat you like the bitch I think you are.
Oh, okay.
I think that's exactly what that is. And I was delighted to hear that was an improvised scene. So fantastic contribution from those actors. It's incredible. And I'm trying to figure out if I've seen anything like that, either before or since. And I'm not drawing any conclusions.
Closest I could ever come up to is Top Gun with the scene in the shower, or the locker room shower, where the Iceman walks up to Maverick, or Maverick walks up to Iceman. He does the whole, the chomping thing at him. That's the closest.
Yeah, I mean that's I've it's been a long time, admittedly, since I've seen that film, but I remember, even Archer satirized it, where it is quite homoerotic in many places. Mm-hmm. But what was going on between the characters? Was there competition there at that point in the film, or were they friends and working together at that point? I'm trying to figure out if there's
the two characters.
Yeah, was there?
Oh no, it was already seen as a threat. It was already seen as a threat because even in the beginning, Bob is talking about God. No,
I was talking about Top Gun.
Oh God, yeah. It's still competitive nature between the two, because I think it was right after the very homoerotic volleyball scene.
Right.
I think it was.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason that rape has always been and still is used as a weapon of war. It is to demoralize.
Right.
It is to beat you down. It is to say, I'm king bitch and you're a little bitch and you're going to do whatever the fuck I say because I control you. It is absolutely a power thing.
It was always weird to me because, like, in high school, like, jocks would threaten that kind of stuff too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always thought it was really weird that they were like, "Hey, you little F word that I don't say," and then they wanted to rape you, and I'm like, but that makes you the person engaging in a homosexual-esque activity,
right?
So, like, I never understood
because they don't see it that way. Because
absolutely. I mean, I know it's power. I'm saying, like, at the time, I didn't comprehend. Like, I was so confused by that. And then as I got older, like, it's pure power. So I find it fascinating that that's what you think is going on in RoboCop. And now I'm like, holy shit, that's.
Oh, I have no doubt.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, I didn't take it that way, and now I want to go back and watch that scene because wow.
Oh, please do, and then text me or something because I want to know what you think, because that's absolutely what it is. Oh. But it's interesting because I feel like we always see a film differently, right? Whether we see it as children first or teens or in our 20s, it's always going to hit differently when you have more life experience behind you. Mm-hmm. And I mean, just please go back and watch that. I want to hear what you have to say, because Jesus Christ, it is just such a violation, and it's meant to be a fucking threat. Really.
Now we're all going to go back and rewatch.
Yes. Please enjoy. Let's talk about our favorite quotes, because this is an immensely quotable fucking movie that I love very, very, very much. And I'm just going to start with my favorite, and there's so many, but I have to just pick "Bitches Leave."
Yes, that's mine right there. I think that's so amazing. Yeah.
I mean, I quote it, my husband and I quote it to each other for the past 15 years. And it hasn't gone away. We both just love it so much. And I don't know why. It's just innately hilarious for some reason. Like just walk in and just leave. And I don't know the studio Blu-ray release has for any features or anything, but the Arrow 4K restoration has, you know, a lot of these great featurettes. And there's one of these interviews where they're talking about things like that and villains. And someone had said, since Paul Verhoeven was Dutch, that he did not understand the American flavor for the word bitch and what it meant here. And then so directing that scene, he was like, hey, what do you think? Should the bitches leave when he says bitches leave? Or do the bitches leave when he makes the movement? And then, you know, they settled it. It's like, okay, yeah, bitches. So what you do is you leave when he says it. And then they were wrapped. He's like, okay, bitches, we're wrapped. Thank you so much, bitches. We really appreciate it. Whatever. It's just like, it's so fucking funny. And they're like, yeah, fine, whatever.
Oh my God.
Hilarious. What other quotes?
Right.
Don't touch me, man.
All right. Yes.
Love it.
Here's my two. I absolutely love when Kirkwood Smith leans in and says, you probably don't think I'm a very nice guy, do you? This is so fantastic.
Wow, you must be some kind of a great cop.
My favorite line, I rewound it to hear it again because it made me laugh so hard. It's right after the big ED 209 destroys that dude.
You, James.
Someone want to call a goddamn paramedic? For what? For what?
Oh, God. You call this a glitch? God.
Amazing.
Yeah, man. Who cares if it worked or not? Oh, and then there's another one that's really, at the very end, it's so fucking chilling and existential, where, you know, they've just blown away Nash and gone ahead and dispensed with Clarence Boddicker, and RoboCop's been crushed by this crane that Nash has dropped on him, and Murphy's in terrible shape, saying she's a mess. And they go, RoboCop says, they'll fix you. They fix everything. And I'm like, oh my God. Here we go, back in this fucking existential thing of what is ethical and what is not, and how can you even consider owning a human being? Oh my God. It's just
Don, I didn't mean to steal your quote. Do you have any others?
All right. I got a couple more because I wrote down military industrial complex on a couple of things.
Great.
But it was like, oh, do you have access to military weaponry? It's like, we practically are the military. There was that one, which I was sitting there. And then there was the other one, and I think it was by the sergeant. And this made me laugh almost, or chuckle almost as much as somebody want to call a goddamn paramedic?
Yeah.
It was, without cops, the city would tear itself apart.
Oh, sure.
And I'm like, how fucking often have we heard that?
Yeah.
Yep.
To the point where it's, well, you know, we got to increase military budget. We can't, you know, defund the police, or we can't abolish the police system or prisons or anything like that, because, you know, people will not do what they need to do if there aren't people watching them and sitting in patrol cars or police cars or walking up and down the street to make them. That doesn't make me sorry for anybody who feels safer that way, but that doesn't make me, for many different reasons, but that doesn't make me feel any safer. It makes me feel as though I'm being watched in the hopes that I do something. Now, mind you, the police has a function. There are some things that you can do, you should be doing. Me personally, it's not, and this goes for the Highway Patrol and Sheriff's Department as well. Personally, it's not sitting, you know, lying in wait on the highway and hoping to catch people, you know, speeding and then chasing people at a higher rate of speed than they were going, and then whipping in between traffic in order to get to this one person that may have been going 10, 15 miles over. All right, cool. Investigating crimes, all that stuff. But my thing is, by saying you're not going to have any police, or there's not police in the area, the city's going to tear itself apart. There are a lot of other ways that people just basically say, fuck it, I'm not going to do stupid shit. Or you could look at it this way. There's also the over-policing, which in every movie in the 80s and early 90s that involved drug manufacturing, it seemed like it was always the same place. It was always some random factory or some random building where they were processing all this stuff, and it always looked the same. And I'm just like, they're still doing that when you have cops. So what's your point? What do you mean you're here and you're stopping all the crime? No, you're coming into the crime after the fact, arresting people, or worse. You're getting people that have nothing to do with that shit. Basically, what I'm trying to say is the whole say no to drugs and war on drugs thing was complete waste of resources.
Of course, and they knew it was.
Taxpayer dollars, and infrastructure.
Just say no. Fuck you, man. Do something.
Just say no. That's personal accountability, though. I don't think that would fly with the GOP today.
God damn.
I was just going to say, just say no to personal accountability. It's amazing you said that first. For real. God damn, what a fucking time to be alive.
I think it's amazing how this really hits something that they don't even point out, and that's that they're just trying it in inner city Detroit. We're not in the suburbs. We're not going to try this out in the Hamptons. Hell no. Like, if it fails, so we fuck up Detroit. Big deal. Well,
not only that, but the whole idea that when they first bring in the ED-209, and of course it comes back in the second movie or whatever iteration it is in the second movie, I find it so odd that their idea to stop crime is to send in a bipedal tank. Like it makes no sense, even as part of the movie, right? Somebody should have been in there as a character saying, like, guys, none of you find it odd that this is a thing that sits on two legs, has a turret, and it's supposed to stop crime? Like, it's got two big turrets on it to shoot stuff.
It's martial law in effect.
Yeah, it's not. And so I think that was one of the really cool things with the updated version, the reboot version, was that they showed that these things were being used by the military as part of quote unquote peacekeeping operations and stuff, which if you've seen the second movie, you're like, they were not part of peacekeeping operations. But the whole idea that, you're going to have this to put down, terrorist attacks or whatever you want to claim they are. And then they went backwards with it, where it's like, well, let's bring in a human we need a brain that's going to control this machine and all this other stuff. Whereas this one, it's like, hey, here's a big scary thing that'll stop people from doing bad stuff. When you just don't have to be anywhere around that slow moving, slow walking machine when you commit your crimes.
Yeah. It's kind of like the high tech dystopian version of you're gonna go to hell if you're not a good person.
Right.
So we're gonna scare the shit out of you, and all these bad things are gonna happen to you unless you fucking behave. And we're gonna put you in line because you don't need to be a good person on your own just because you have empathy for other people and the earth. It's just, you have to be threatened into behaving. And this.
Wait, were you in the room when I was having this discussion with my mom last week?
I was not.
Yeah, we were getting into the whole thing about, like, I don't believe in this, I don't believe in that. And I even said, like, I said all the stuff. I said, from when I was a kid, you threatening me with things like hell and all this, that didn't work. And even threatening me with, oh, you're gonna get spanking or whatever. It's like, that didn't work either. All it did was make me sneakier. And so my wife, she asked me, she's like, oh, like what did you do? I was like, I'm not fucking telling you. Anything I did is going to the grave with me. No one is going to know. She's like, was it that bad? I was like, no, but it's still one of those things of, like, I was told certain things at a certain age.
Right.
So for me, it's kind of like, no, I need to keep this together as being as sneaky as I was about whatever this was that was 30 something years ago that really has no effect on me now. Because God forbid, I tell my mom, I'm like, hey, Mom, remember this one time that you thought this happened? Well, actually, this happened. Like, she just found out. I mean, this is no secret here. She just found out I took a girlfriend of mine to Planned Parenthood in college. She's like, well, what happened? I was like, you don't have. I said, I'm not sending a kid to college right now.
Yeah.
She's like, what do you mean? I was like, they had the pill. So,
what do you mean?
I was like, $70 well spent, Mom.
Yeah, man.
And she thought I was joking. I'm like, no.
No, now it's time to erase that mistake. And guess what? Now you're not shut your fucking life.
Exactly.
And now neither of you are horrible parents because you resent this thing that came into the world that you have to like be a slave to.
And then would have resented each other.
Exactly. There's so many reasons not to have kids. Anyway, apologies to viewers and the one host who has a kid. Or at least some children. Oh, you both do? All right. Well, anyway, personal accountability. Holy shit, A+. Good job for being responsible. I appreciate it. We all do. No, I mean, just you hear so much bullshit in the news. It's refreshing.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I agree.
Yeah. But the first thing I ever shot was on phone video. That was like, you guys. I don't know if I should say this. It was a time traveling abortion device called Babe Be Gone, like Baby Gone.
Oh my god! Please tell me it's available online.
It is not, but I could send it to you if you promise not to put it online.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the first thing I ever did because fuck this world, and I'm mad at politics and everything, and fucking whatever. I can be crazy if I want to be. So yeah, it was just a bumper I made for Fantastic Fest a decade ago, and it played. From what I hear, it got a good response. So I was not in the audience, sadly. Yeah. And then, my first real quote unquote short film was called Legitimate, which was a reaction to the fucking idiot Representative Todd Akin saying, oh, if it's legitimate rape, a woman's body has got a whole way of shutting that whole thing down. I'm like, what the fuck kind of magical asshole planet you come from, man? Like, no. Fuck y'all. Enough. Anyway, yes, so politics is why I got to filmmaking. Hello. Nice to meet you.
Well, like I said at StokerCon, like that's my thing. So I was instantly like, I got to watch everything you've ever made, because if that's where you're putting your anger, then the art is always going to be maybe not amazing every time, but it's always going to resonate. Like that anger. I mean, I've told you some of the stories I'm working on, and we have to put it somewhere. And
we do.
But also, I think that people need it. Like, people who aren't creative or aren't making that particular thing need these things too. They need to know, hey, I can't be alone. The person who made this feels this way.
Yes.
And just also, sometimes it's how you're able to contextualize. It's, wow, I couldn't put it into words until I saw this.
Right.
So,
how do you make sense of whatever the fuck this is? This simulation that feels like somebody shook a snow globe constantly. For the last,
it was probably my blow globe from Cocaine Bear, huh, Don?
You.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I'll send you a picture later. There's Cocaine Bear is real. He's in Lexington, Kentucky. And when I was there, they had a little snow globe, but instead of snow, it's cocaine. So they literally call it a blow globe, and it sits on my desk right here. I'm playing with it right now.
Yeah, I mean, Elizabeth Bank is in the film version.
She is. I wish I get it, but the real story is so fascinating to me that I would rather see that. But I'm totally down to see this too. So, but yeah. Anyway,
it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome.
As we go down another sidetrack. But
sidetrack. You guys should have a musical sting. What? Sidetrack.
That would add like a half an hour to our show, because that's like all we do.
Probably. That's all good though.
What they want.
Exactly.
You gotta give it one.
So I want to talk about this. I made a reference to this scene early on, but the when they're holding the mayor hostage, this scene
really
works on so many levels for me. I mean, it's a fun scene, number one. Like, this guy is negotiating, but it's so over the top. It's hilarious. Like, everything he wants. Like, I want a bigger office, and I want this kind of car with these features. And
top of the line SUX.
Wait, hold on a second, dude.
Yeah.
are you gonna blow past the most important thing in that scene as far as his demands?
Oh, go ahead.
I want a recount and I want my job back no matter what the results are. And I'm like, fucking Trump.
Yep. Insane, right? Insane.
I'm just going to read you my notes. My notes. Cops stand around outside, do nothing. Surprise, surprise. Donald Trump wants recount. Somebody fucking kill me so I can just leave now. That's what I wrote down.
Everything goes new again.
You know, I haven't been doing well mentally.
Same.
And all the shootings have made things way worse. And anyone who follows me on Facebook, I'm sorry. And, you know, this scene, I couldn't help but see the similarities. The cops are waiting outside for somebody to fucking do something. And
Which is their job.
If he wasn't shooting people, I don't think it would have hit me as hard. But he's literally killing hostages and they're still negotiating.
It's nuts.
And I was so angry because, you know, obvious current event insertion here. And like, I don't know, man, this just hit me so fucking hard. Because I was like, I'm looking at how this was copaganda, as you guys keep saying. And it was, these are the good guys this whole way. And this scene kills that for me because they don't fucking do anything.
Right.
And I don't know. I have more to say, but nobody wants to fucking hear it. We all know what I'm going to say. So it's just, this never ends.
It never ends.
Fucking defund these fucks already if they're not going to do their jobs. The end. Who's up?
Yeah. I also want to, an aside for, you know, the cop characters in this movie, I want to give a shout out to the very, very angry captain who's always so pissed off. And it's just, what a terrific fucking character actor that guy is. So good. So angry all the time. I really
like him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
And even just the facial expressions of some of the actors who played police in this, like when Kirkwood Smith like leans in and just spits blood on the counter.
Oh, that's so good. That was an improv too. That was the first day of shooting.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like the look on their faces is so great. And I'm like, I wouldn't know what the fuck to do. Like, you know?
Yeah. No, I wonder if that was so I don't know if it was a private conversation between Kurtwood and Paul for that scene, for that first day of shooting for Kurtwood. But if it was, and they didn't notify the cast, like with the alien chest burster scene,
even better.
So great, right? Because we were watching this special feature, and the actor, Kurtwood Smith, discussing this, and I just, whoa, what a glee! As a director, I'd be fucking all over that, because that is just, what a brilliant piece of madness to add to this flavor. Oh my god, that's already tainted with destruction. Incredible choice. So glad that happened.
It says so much about his character.
Yes.
It's like a full 9-page backstory right there.
Yeah.
And the fact that that's the first day of shooting is even better. Like,
so great.
Like he went in and was like, okay, let's make my guy real right now.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Oh, absolutely. So good. And because he knows that he's protected. He knows there will be zero consequence for him. He knows he'll be out that day. He doesn't give a shit.
Phone call to.
Dick Jones.
And just the idea that Jones needs him. And even that moment where it's clear, or at least somewhat clear, that he's going to walk out of their meeting, after he's already been sprung from jail and everything, and tries to hit on the secretary. And, I just really appreciate the confidence that this man has. But after he goes through all that stuff and meets with Dick, and he's just kind of like, fuck it, about it, and then Dick says, hey, it's got jobs, and there's going to be 2 million people living in trailers. That's drugs and gambling and prostitution. Somebody who's going to be in charge of all that. Yep. And he just realizes, oh, fuck, I can't kiss that money out goodbye.
Right. No enterprising crime boss would.
No, not at all. I do appreciate that this is a very hands-on crime boss, as opposed to he has all these lackeys underneath him that are going to do everything. This guy involves himself, so I do respect that.
I do too. Can you fly, Bobby? Fucking madness.
So good.
I mean, the whole film, as with all great science fiction and satire, and I'm thinking of corporate America, but for a second, like, it's prescient in such an alarming way because these works become so much more relevant. And then the rampant gentrification to the detrimental removal of cultures, a total assimilation to mainstream white patriarchy, as well as the growing unchecked power of corporations, which operate and always have. Corporate America is distinctly white supremacist, you know, and there are articles written by people much smarter than I on that. Interested, you know, listeners, please go look those up. These corporations, they're mainly run by rich white men who are become fascist in nature. It's a deep-rooted desire to protect their way of life. Sound familiar? In that they suck up any resource available. They monetize it, whether that's water, oil, land, the human population of workers. I mean, last I checked, you know, we still don't have clean water in Flint. And Nestle is probably still hoarding water resources and overcharging and stealing from the land. And Jesus Christ, we no longer live in a democracy, by the way, which I'm sure you guys know, but it's a neo-oligarchy run by the super rich and powerful, and everyone's in a politician's pocket, more or less. And I don't know if there's any hope. So I make art.
No,
didn't mean to be
the
wet rag on this conversation. That's very
That is not a wet
political.
rag at all.
No, what you said, like, I don't know that there's a way to follow that. Like, that's exactly it. I don't know if there's hope, so I make art.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, you just summed up my life for me. Thank you.
Hey.
But I think that's very prevalent with lots of artists. I think, I don't know about other people, but like when I can't handle anything, I help people because it's the only thing I can do. Like, I don't feel like anyone can help me.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. And I think art is very much the same in that regard. It's getting it out of you, but like I said earlier, it's also giving to people.
Yeah.
You know? And so I don't know if there's hope, but I make art like that's like trying to make hope. That's fucking deep. Don't apologize. It's amazing.
Thanks so much. I mean, I never really thought about it from my point of view as an artist, but I can say, turning, you know, back and reflecting the mirror, that a lot of art has helped.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, that's really interesting. I mean, I remember at the start of this hellhole pandemic, you know, where this basically bubonic plague apocalypse times, you know, 100,000 or whatever the fuck. We are all locked down and we're not leaving the responsible people aren't leaving their houses, you know, and spreading disease. But, you know, we're instead devouring films and TV shows. And I have to say, watching a lot of insane shit, what I call heightened reality, to get me out of my own heightened reality that we've all been experiencing collectively, has probably saved me from a fucking meltdown, like a catastrophic meltdown. So, yeah, and that's how Meat Friend was born. Just trying to be insane, so I didn't have to think about the real insanity outside the window.
Well, I mean, I talk about that with horror a lot, and I don't mean to totally side quest here, but like, I always talk about how, like my mom, for instance, will be like, "Oh, how can you write that shit? There's so much wrong in the world already."
That's the point.
And number one, she's always like, "You're gonna give them ideas," and I'm like, "I swear to God, I am not a good enough writer to give them ideas." All right,
give them ideas.
But
this is the whole Republican rhetoric about like movies and games and media, like causing mass shooters. You know what causes a mass shooter? A mass shooter. You know what causes that? Unfettered access to fucking semi-automatic weapons. You know what causes rape? A fucking rapist. Fuck you.
Yep. But so I always talk to her about how horror lets me control it. When I'm writing horror, I know the motivation. I know the rules. I know it might not end in a happy way, but I know who the monster is. I know what their way of doing things is. I know maybe how to defeat them. I can make sense of it. I can't make sense of any fucking thing I watch on the news.
No shit. It's incredible.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, I always, everybody, you know, we still get asked these stupid questions. Why do you watch horror, or write horror, or make horror, or whatever the fuck it is? But growing up as a woman, and this is why a lot of women, will defend rape revenge films, is because of the very reason, and the same reason why so many women watch true crime documentaries, is that it is a psychological boot camp. We are trying to control our fears and our anxieties about living in this skin, which, by the way, is a fucking delight, I'll tell you what. And it is about trying to wrestle back some power, trying to figure out, like, okay, how could I escape if this happened to me? Or how could I fight back? Or what do I look for in terms of red flags in dating fucking men or whatever the fuck, So yeah, absolutely. It's about taking back control and power. And, it still shocks me that people don't fucking realize that. But then again, the amount of stupidity in the world is just breathtaking.
Well, is that and some of them don't realize, where they come from, what privileges that they come from.
Sure.
And so for women or female presenting women or cisgender women themselves, mm-hmm. there's this idea of cishet men have no fucking clue.
They don't. Most of them don't.
What you're worried about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you often get guys who, and I'm speaking for men, is from a male perspective on this one, so I don't want anybody to think I'm speaking for women. But mm-hmm. you have guys who'll present themselves as, I'm not like every other guy.
Oh, I'm a nice guy.
I'm a nice guy,
that's
right?
A red flag.
and my thing is, even if you are, right, that's not going to make someone comfortable.
No.
Because as nice as I am, quote unquote, as nice as I am, or as friendly as I am, as however many people are out there say like, no, Don's, he's a real cool guy. You don't have to worry about anything with him, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't mean that everyone is going to be comfortable around me or being around me, right?
Mm-hmm, sure.
Because I may say something that makes them uncomfortable because of how fucking awkward I am. I might say something like, "Oh, I was watching that Ted Bundy, serial killer documentary," and I was like, "Man, it was crazy how like good-looking guys can get away with shit, but like normal-looking guys, they automatically." And then you hear yourself, and you're like, "Oh, why the fuck am I talking about a dude who was running around killing?" That's not gonna. Or I mean, just the way that there are a lot of guys don't put themselves in those shoes of understanding. Even though it's not about you, you still need to be cognizant of what is going to affect somebody else, how they're going to feel in that situation, exactly how safe they're going to be. And, we could expand this out to LGBTQ, the LGBTQ plus community, as far as or with respect to race, because mm-hmm. I was looking at TikTok that somebody did, I guess yesterday, or I just saw it yesterday, and someone was explaining that every black person, I've explained this to James before, every black person is waiting for white people or non-black people that are close to them to fuck up.
Right.
And it's not a thing of like, oh, I know my friends aren't racist, or I know my friends are inclusive or allies or accomplices. I like using accomplice as opposed to ally when it comes to whatever X marginalized community is, whether we're talking about women, whether we're talking about LGBTQ plus, Black, Hispanic, Asian, any of that, right? Jewish, Muslim. So we all get to that point where like, man, they're going to fuck it up. I know they're going to fuck it up. I don't want them to fuck it up. Mm-hmm. But when that person fucks it up by defending a rapist, by saying something like, oh, he's actually a good guy. I couldn't see him actually doing that, right? Or defending someone who says something racist or something homophobic or transphobic.
Yeah.
There are people within those communities that go, I was fucking waiting. I was waiting. Mm-hmm. I could have waited. We could have been friends for 60 years, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 60 years. And one day I'm like, I fucking knew it. Yeah. I fucking knew it. And not anything that coming up from your past, but something that comes up now. And Tim Wise, who does like a lot of stuff on more so on race and ethnicity than he does on gender. Mm-hmm. But he was doing an interview that I got to go to a few years ago. And he basically said, like, yeah, I'm a white guy in the South who was around a lot of black people or a lot of non-white people and I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of speeches. I've got degrees in this, this, and this, and I've advocated. But you know what? I can fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
So you best believe that you who haven't done all this work are going to fuck up.
Right.
So don't think that I'm going to be some perfect guy who's always going to say the right thing with respect to race and gender and identity, because you're going to fuck up one point. Be ready for it. Understand what that's going to look like, because if you're talking about with respect to gender, there are guys out there that no guy will get it 100%. I mean, as far as understanding what a woman's experience is, right? A cisgender woman's experience is. But the key is understanding enough to where you do not invade that person's space. So if they're kind of like, because there are guys that will simply say like, oh, I should, it's a bunch of girls. I should hang out. We're all cool. We're all this, whatever. You don't need to enter their space. Like, let them have their shit. And this is coming from a guy who's worked the majority of his jobs around women, where I was the only or one of the few men in that area. And at a certain point, you're like, oh yeah, I'm cool. Then you realize it's like, no, I'm a dude. I need to fuck up and back up. I don't need to go to everything. I don't need to hang out at everything. I need to, and you know what, guys, those of you who are nice guys, guess what? You're going to eat a lot of lunches alone, because you don't need to be in their presence all the time, hounding people, especially if you aren't invited. So
yeah, it becomes a red flag if you're going around to everything. Like, what is the alternative, interior motive here? What is the ultimate goal for this person? Why is he always around? It's one of the reasons why I put in that line about allies and rehome, because there's subterfuge there, and of course in rehome is quite more malicious than the situations that you're describing for the most part. But and I from my own experience, I will say that I am never ever more uncomfortable than when I am around a large group of white men, straight white men, because look at what they've done throughout all of fucking history.
Yeah.
Case in point. And I've also been unfortunately privy to many domestic abuse situations growing up. And so, like, I have learned that these people are not my allies for the most part. I have been pleasantly delighted on several occasions. I married a white guy. He's great. But seriously, like, it's quite scary, because they have all of the power, and look what they've done with it.
Well, you have so many people that aren't willing to even recognize that historically that's been the case,
right?
And that they have a position of privilege, no matter what their socioeconomic background is. You still have a position to speak up on an issue, because you're going to be in those rooms when you and I are not. I'm not picking on you, James. I'm saying you, random white guy, are going to be in the room when we're not there. Or, I mean, the only alternative is that people forget that we're in the room. And that's really fun. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, James. Holy shit, that is fun.
Yep.
When you happen to be in the room and people forget that you're there,
God almighty,
and they start talking about your background, your gender, any of that stuff, or your perceived sexuality. Anything. And then they realize that you're there because they see you in the corner and they're like, oh, fuck. We said exactly what we didn't want you to know. Yes.
No, go ahead.
Oh, no, please.
No, I was just going to say, or they know that you're fucking there and they talk over you and they don't give a fuck.
The other one.
And then you say, as a woman, I just said that. That's also super fun too. That happens a lot, especially, corporate America. So yeah, if you're a real ally, you don't have to face cognitive dissonance, and you can just, be empathetic to the fact that, we are human beings, and that's really all should fucking come. So, but we're still struggling with this, aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah,
probably will be forever.
So I was going to say it's going to be a while. I mean, unless more people are willing to, excuse me for saying this, but unless more people are willing to punch Meemaw and Peepaw in the face for being racist, homophobic, sexist pieces of shit,
right?
None of that is really going to, change, because there's still people who they're racist, homophobic, sexist, xenophobic pieces of shit that have kids.
Right.
And they turn out kids who happen to be racist, homophobic, sexist, xenophobic pieces of shit.
Yep.
That they get concerned when someone finally shows up at their house with.
I know. Like we just
stuff.
saw. Whoop-de-fucking do. I don't care until it happens to me.
I mean, that could be our country slogan right there.
Yes.
I don't care till it happens to me.
Wait.
Shit,
The only thing I want to add, right? The only thing I want to add to what you guys said is when you guys were talking about the nice guy, the legitimate nice guy who is trying, right? It doesn't matter. Like from the woman's point of view, or Don, like a black man surrounded by 3 white guys or whatever. Like the simple fact is the odds say be scared.
Yeah.
And
so back the fuck off, man. That's it.
Well, the odds are be on guard. The odds tell you to be on guard. I mean, from my perspective, I'm not going to speak for anybody else.
No. That's a better way to phrase it. That's great. Yeah.
It's to be on guard because there are moments, I will say, just going into, because, finishing up grad school for the 3rd time.
Wow.
I know I'm stupid. So I was like, I'm going to punish myself even more. I'm done.
Learning.
Well, yeah.
That's great.
But
wait till you see his loans. No, I'm kidding.
I was gonna say, thank God those are over. But what they were, whoo, holy shit. But no, it's one of those things. Like, just there are moments when I'm in certain rooms and I'm sitting there calculating in my head so many different things.
Yep.
Okay, when is somebody going to say it? What are they going to say? If they say it, what is going to be my reaction? And based off my reaction, how fucking bad are things going to get?
Right. What am I allowed to say? What are these calculations? Right?
Yeah. You become a reactionary where it's, I'm like, hey, I clearly heard this person say a racial slur, or I clearly heard this person say the C word, or I clearly heard the person say the F word, right? And I responded, and now the response, or at least the concern, is more about my response than the actual offense that was made. And again, it's one of those things that a lot of people who don't have those shared backgrounds, which I'm going to say for a lot of cases, it's straight white presenting, white males themselves that are going to have to do that heavy lifting because
they have to police their own.
Yeah. There's so many people that are worried about losing a friend. Like, fuck your friends, fuck your family. If that's the people that you want to associate with, then you know what? I don't want to associate with you at that point.
Right.
Because they're family members I have no contact with because I've seen the shit that they put on Facebook or on social media. Same. Or I have coworkers that, if something happens, it immediately becomes like, we need more Jesus and need more prayer, which is nothing against somebody's religion. But my thing is, if that's your solution, you're not concerned with what the actual problem is.
Absolutely not. It's a get out of jail, pass. Thoughts and prayers. It's performative. I can say this and feel good about myself while doing absolutely fucking nothing.
Yep.
And nothing is going to change.
There's no accountability, no work.
The more you know.
Well, and that's people like that want stuff to change or want things to be fixed. They just don't want to do any of the work while reaping the benefit of it. Whereas I have no I'm at an age now, and I'll definitely be at an age on Wednesday. I'll be at an age now that I don't give a shit about making new friends or losing friends or anything like that. If those friendships are based on, those friendships involve people whose personalities, whose actions involve denigrating other people.
Right.
And there was a great thing that Maya Angelou was known for. And it was, if you said some shit in her presence that was insulting about another person, and it happened to be at her house or an event that she was throwing, she would personally escort you out. So if she heard you talking about gay people, about black people, about Hispanic people, about women, if you spoke derogatively about anybody and she found out about it,
Yeah.
she would personally escort you and basically cut you off.
Nice.
And there are a good number of incidents where she's like, no, I will not tolerate that in my home. I will not tolerate that in my presence. And to understand that woman's story, or at least understanding that woman's story and realizing she wasn't always Maya Angelou, the best-selling author, the laureate. You know, she wasn't always that person, but she always had that in her where she understood that when someone is deprived of their humanity or their basic humanity, somebody needs to step up.
Yeah.
And she was in a position to do that now. So she's like, no, fuck you. You're not going to use that language around me about these people or about those people or about those people. That's not going to happen. And then she's, you know, there were a couple of times I can't remember the people that were involved, but they were trying to apologize. She's like, no, you should have known better. So get the fuck out of my house.
No, that's great. I mean, honestly, that's fascism 101. You start othering other groups.
Yes.
And you make it us versus them. You become nationalist about it. And then you start to suppress free speech, which, you know, in its real context, not, you know, used by the fucking fearmongers and the idiots here. You suppress artists and writers and journalists who lock them away or execute them. And then, you know, the genocide begins. So it is a slippery fucking slope for sure. So I'm glad to hear that. That's really nice. And by the way, there is a piece of good news, and hopefully it doesn't come out later that anything else was fucked up about it. But a group of cops in Idaho did arrest members of the Patriot Front, which is a white supremacist hate group, on their way to very, very probably fuck up a pride event and cause a riot. So that's one piece of good news. We can feel happy about it, at least for now.
Those are the few times when those are one of the few times when I'm actually like, okay, the police actually did something.
I know, it's shocking.
You know what I mean?
Wonderful.
And I don't mean it to be an asshole that way. I mean, maybe I do, but I look at it, I'm like, that's what the fuck you're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
Like, those are the guys that showed up to all these other protests that, you know, quote unquote Antifa and BLM get blamed for when they're like, oh, they burned down a Target, they did this. I'm like, they were off-duty cops who did that. Yep. And there were members of these hate groups that showed up to do this shit. 3%ers, Oath Keepers, Proud Boys, Patriot Front. Like, all these groups showed up to do that shit, whether we're talking about St. Louis, whether we're talking about Orlando, whether we're talking about Minneapolis, Chicago. Right. You know, anytime there was a Black Lives Matter protest, or wherever it was in Wisconsin, it was 9 times out of 10, it was someone from those groups. The other 1 out of 10, it was somebody who wasn't even associated with the protests or the marches. But, you know. Of course. Those guys, as far as I'm concerned, because I never want to give up on anybody, but those guys really need some help. And I mean, they really need some help as far as they need another outlet for whatever that anger is. And people like Tucker Carlson or my other name for him, which is Fucker Carlson. They don't need to have the airwaves in order to further radicalize these individuals. Because I'm sure at one point these guys were all kind of cool people who would be open to diversity or inclusion and things like that. But then you convince them that they are somehow losing something because
someone else
people and non-whites and women get something, that they're losing something. And my perspective is rights are not finite. They're not.
They're not. It's not like you have a pizza and you get all of the slices, but then somebody new gets one slice or half a slice, and then your life is fucking ruined. So like, it doesn't work like that, bitches. Leave.
No. and if anything, Beautiful. It's the old man and Dick Jones that are taking everything from you.
Right? That's exactly what it is.
Which again was remarkable because I can't remember when the term gentrification came around as far as being a popular thing. I know Spike Lee discussed it, but I don't know if he was discussing as far as the actual term gentrification and Do the Right Thing, because that came up in that film where there were people that were trying to move into that area, and there was like this one white guy who had a brownstone, and he's telling him, or the guy is telling him, like, I've been living here for like 3-4 years. I've been here for a while. They're like, well, we've been here for 30 years. We've been here for 50 years, whatever. It's like, we can't have the neighborhood become white. This is Black and Puerto Rican here. We can't, just trying to say like, hey, you're coming here and you're changing this.
Yeah.
Whereas this film is really prophetic in so many different ways because it gets to this idea of old Detroit itself is in shambles. It's full of crime. There's nothing there. We could build something new that's going to be better. And even the company itself, it seems as though the company starts off with good intentions because they even say like, oh, our business has been built off of nonprofits, building schools, building prisons, building, hospitals, things like that. Right.
Privatizing all of them, I'm sure.
And now, then you take that flip where it's like, but you're doing you're doing something to make money. And really what it was, there was weapons manufacturing. It was all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But even by having all these houses or all this housing that they were going to have in this new city, I want to know what the end game was. Like, what is going to be housed there as far as businesses and people and jobs and things like that? Because you're talking about building a brand new city from the ground up. Not neighborhoods. You're talking about building a brand new city from the ground up. That's massive gentrification.
Yeah.
And you look at places like, you just mentioned New York, but you mentioned places like, Brooklyn or Queens or the Bronx, where they're going through this and you end up having people that are priced out of the homes that they're currently in. They can't stay there anymore.
Always.
Or I was just driving back from Atlanta yesterday and I was showing my wife, as we were coming through some of the places, I was showing her, I was like, Atlanta had at one point had to have a moratorium on housing construction because people would go in and buy these cheap houses, cheap at the time, or I guess cheap by your perspective, but they were like $60,000-$70,000, right? And this is back in the late 90s, early 2000s, like really small houses that had land. Might be on an acre, might be on 2 acres of land. So what people were doing is they were buying these homes, then destroying the building because what they wanted was the land. So what they would then do is they would build a massive house on top of that land. And because of the value of that home now, it now raises the tax liability for all the houses around it. So now these people who had been living in their houses for 50, 60 years can't afford to live there anymore because they can't afford the tax payment. And they would then sell their house to somebody else for, $70,000, $80,000, whatever it was. And that person would then build some massive house on that property right after. And it just keeps going and going. So you would go to parts of the Atlanta suburbs and you would see a small home with a carport and then massive 4,000 or 5,000 square foot house right next to it. Then another one, and then a little tiny house, then another tiny house, and it would keep going. And it looked like a weird Monopoly board where somebody had gotten, the little houses and hotels next to each other. And that's what they're pushing in this movie was it was something that people were not ready to really have a discussion about, which is the way corporate greed was taking over in the 80s. The writing was on the wall to actually see how public housing was not going to be available for people. Cheaper housing was not going to be available for people. So we've gone through, or I should say, we're on our second housing crisis right now in the 21st century. Only time will tell if we make it through another year and a half before, the market, I guess, stabilizes or crashes. And then you're going to see more people take advantage of that again, where you had houses that might have been worth, let's say, $300,000-$400,000. They get inflated. Somebody buys it at $500,000, and then those loans come crashing back down, and the house is now worth $300,000, and they can't get out of that loan, so they've got to default or take a short sale or something.
It is a nasty cycle.
And then you've got it. Well, and then you add on to that as far as like people can't even afford rent in a lot of places.
It's unbelievable.
Now that we've depressed everybody.
That's what we do.
Yay! No, but I mean, conversations like this are necessary for change. Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about that way. There's a little bit of hope sprinkled in your cereal.
Boom.
It's what I can get. That's all I got. I mean, I think about the housing crisis, and I feel like it's colonialism on a different scale, in terms of how it just wipes out entire cultures and pushes everyone away. And I don't mean to trivialize that for a second, but it is like, I feel like the threads are connected.
No, I think
I would say it's there.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the both Candyman films, well, the original and the remake, is shined a light on that particularly well. And goddamn, if I can ever make a movie as good or a quarter as good as Nia DaCosta's Candyman, I will be happy. For real.
We've done episodes on both, so go check them out. So Don is illegally parked. He only has 20 seconds to move. So do you guys have anything you want to say to wrap this up before we move to movie recommendations?
I have one thing to say, and that, it's a free society, except there ain't nothing free because there's no guarantees, You're on your own. There, I did throw in that one. You got wise little messages all throughout this movie. So
that's true. No, I'm good. I'm ready to talk about recommendations for sure. I got a bunch.
Sweet. We'll start with you.
Right. Well, if you like RoboCop, my friends, you will certainly. We'll start with the obvious. Other Verhoeven films in the same vein are Starship Troopers. To a lesser extent, Total Recall. And if you have not seen Benedetta yet, please watch that. It's incredible. It's subversive, and it's probably one of the best well-made films I've seen in any genre. It is just, goddamn, he is a director that doesn't always hit it quite out of the park, but when he does, my God, incredible. All right. Other films from the 80s that deal with socio-political leanings are John Carpenter was a favorite of mine. We've got films like They Live and Escape from New York. And those two films, especially, favorite director, deal with socio-political upheaval in America at a time where things are dystopian and falling apart, and there's fascism and consumerism running rampant all over the fucking place. Even older, going back to the 70s and well, partially the 80s too. Larry Cohen is another director that I love and admire and recommend. It's Alive and Cue the Winged Serpent and The Stuff, which is an 80s film also about consumerism running rampant and getting addicted to things. In this case, a designer fancy yogurt. George Romero, fucking any of his films for sure. More recent, I'm going to recommend both The Watchmen, the HBO series, as well as The Boys television show on Amazon now. Nice. Fantastic, biting satires of American culture and how far we've fallen.
Oh, yeah. Well, cool. So I normally do a double feature. Today I'm actually going to do two because I had an epiphany while watching. Before I watched it, I had already decided my double feature was going to be Terminator because these two obviously roll together. There's a lot of, I don't know. I think they'd be really fun to watch back to back. I've never done it. I don't know. But that was my call beforehand. Watching it, all I could think about was the Batman. Like it's so in line. Batman just felt like RoboCop to me. So
that's true, but more serious for sure.
But I think they'd really work together. What I like about it more, the new Batman is he fucks up a lot. He's trying to figure shit out, and RoboCop doesn't exactly have that. So I'd kind of like to see a RoboCop trying to figure shit out too. But I don't know. Anyway, all right, Don, you're up.
Good stuff.
I don't have as many because Izzy took like 10 of mine.
So Don only has 108.
Oh, no, I have more than that. And James took one of mine, which was Terminator. So here we go.
Great
the
minds.
Mad Max series is one I would include. What else? Die Hard, obviously. James said Terminator, but I would also include Terminator 2 because
Sure.
there is that one is where you get, I guess you could make that argument of a RoboCop or a robot trying to figure things out because he starts learning.
That actually might be better together.
Taught.
Yeah, I'd like to see that together.
Nope. What was it? I mean, even when the kid's trying to tell him like how to behave and saying like, you don't say affirmative, you say no problemo. No problemo. So the Alien and Aliens itself, the Predator.
Predator 2 for sure.
Here's my other one. I didn't. Oh, I'm sorry. I said Terminator 2. I didn't include the other one. Yeah, that would work. I Am Robot with. I'm sorry, I, Robot with Will Smith would be another good one. Well, I've got Will Smith again, so I'll say Enemy of the State. And Return of the Living Dead would be another one I would recommend.
Oh, I love that movie.
Don't ask me why. I just think that there would be kind of the cool crossover that's going on there. And it doesn't matter what version. It could be the original. It could be many of the different iterations of it. But Pinocchio.
Nice. Looking forward to seeing Guillermo's version of that coming out in December. Yeah. That's good stuff. I'm going to toss in the Minority Report in as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I totally forgot about that film.
Yeah, I'm due for a rewatch. But yeah, sci-fi classic. So good.
Very cool. All right, let's bring it back to you, Izzy, and you can tell everybody where they can find you on social media or all right, all that good stuff.
Sure, man. I am on Twitter as Niall Noctum Film. I am on Instagram as the same. And my website is niallnoctum.com. And that's Latin, by the way, for nothing night, because I'm a recovering nihilist. Look for me on the festival circuit. Yeah, we're playing Oak Cliff, Portland Horror, and Chattanooga coming up, and there's some other ones I can't announce yet. But you can also find some of my short stories and anthology on Amazon if you look me up there, or Perpetual Motion Machine Publishing has a couple of books that I've been in as well, and then you can buy directly from them, such as Pizza Horror Stories and crazy shit like that.
Oh man, Pizza Horror Stories. Poor Max. I think Max is still getting submissions for that.
Oh, well, it's still kind of a running joke in the industry. Right? Some people will say in their open calls, no Pizza Horror Stories, which I think is fucking hilarious. He broke indie publishing.
He did. That was like the best.
So good.
Like, yeah, I literally heard people talking about it at StokerCon still, and I was laughing. And I was like, oh man, I didn't know that other people do this.
Do you know we got something like 913 stories?
Yeah, it was crazy. And then everybody was just getting pizza submissions after that when they were turned down. It was so great.
I am very privileged to have a story.
I will admit the one I wrote was not that good, so I hold no grudge there at all. And I never submitted it anywhere else, so at least I'm a good person that way.
But can you repurpose it? Can you repurpose it?
I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure.
No. I love calls for submissions because they're really great writing prompts, and with a deadline, you got to get it done.
Yep.
Like for instance, right now, I've been inspired not just by RoboCop, but the news, of course, and a submission call, and I started writing some cyberpunk shit suddenly. It wasn't going to be like that, but it turned out, and now I'm about to shoot past the submissions word count, so I guess I'm not going to submit, but I don't know.
That's what editing's for. Just send it over to me. We'll get it down.
No. Here's the thing. I usually have the opposite problem where I can only write short things.
Mm-hmm.
I have a background as a copywriter. I've written short stories and short films for a while now, and I have trouble writing long. So I'm going to run with this.
Nice.
And I don't know. I might just, fingers crossed, have my very first novella. So
even better.
We'll see.
Oh, fantastic. All right. So a quick note to our listeners. We are taking the next 16 weeks off, give or take. And we will be back October 1st. and we'll do something crazy because it's October. And every October I say, oh, we're not doing anything crazy this year. But I know me. We're doing something crazy, and we'll figure out what it is before then.
Nice.
So you have to deal without us for a little bit.
Now.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, I mean,
Izzy,
we're still going to
you.
be on Twitter and all that other stuff.
Oh, I might not. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'll be on Twitter, and I'll be very angry on Facebook. Don't add me on Facebook unless you just want to be annoyed and mad with me. But, anyway. Yeah, so thank you so much for coming on and for doing RoboCop. And, yeah, I loved this. It was great.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk about one of my very, very favorite films of all time.
Absolutely.
It was wonderful having you.
Yeah!
We'll have you back at some point.
All right. Sounds good, man.
Woohoo! Woo! All right. So I guess that wraps it up for now. So as always, I am James Sabata.
And I am Don Guillory.
And we'll see you eventually here on the Necronomicon.com.